Hello everyone, today I am bringing you another Photoshop tutorial. We are going to do a simple flyer. The last time we did a flyer, and this time around we are going to continue. We are going to learn how to create a different flyer. So this week we are on fly. So if you are new to Photoshop, then let's get started. So as usual, when you open Photoshop, this is the window that you see. So this is the welcome window that is still loading. So when the welcome window loads, this is what you see. You will see your current work. That is the various files. This is the current work that you have already done. You can click on it to open, or you can click on create new. So when you click on creating, that is where you get the new page to load. So this is what we are going to do. So at the end of today, we are going to learn. So let's maximize it and know how at the end of today's lesson it will be. So at the end of today, this is how the work would be. This is how your work will look like. A simple design, a simple flyer. This is how your work is going to look like. So let's get started. So I close the page. Okay, so if you want to create new, once you can go to file and choose new. So when the page loads, this is your new document page. You can close it, or you can create new from that section. So you click on create new. It is the same thing as you go to file or you go to create new. So once your work is going to be printed, you need to click on print, and you select your, the size, that is the unit that you are going to use in printing. So normally we work in inches. So I'll go ahead and type the size of the design here in the width. So I'm using 48 by 24 inches, and the resolution I'll choose 90. I'll choose 90 for the resolution, and then leave the color mode in RGB. Then I click on create. So you see, so the moment you click on create, but before then you can give your work a title. So I'll call this one flyer 2 or flyer. Okay, then I click on create to start working. Or when you click on close, and this close to works the same thing. So I then click on create to start my blank page. So this is the work that I just created. This is the size that I just set, 120 by 90. This is the size. So any tool that you choose will give you an optional toolbar under the menu bar. So when I click on that tool, this is the option that comes. When I click on this tool, it comes with its own option. When I click on the marquee tool, it comes with its own option. When I click on the crop tool, and the rest follows. Everything that you click on the left hand side, it gives you an option below the menu bar. So that is the background. You can change the background color of your working space. So I click on the background color, I choose yellow, and I click on the work to change it to yellow. So you realize that the design is predominantly on yellow. So that is how I got my yellow. So I'll pick my rectangle tool and create the rectangle, the black rectangle. So I'll change the color to black. Then make sure you follow along. Look at where the mouse is clicking, and you just click along. So the current color and the new color means that any color that you choose, it appears. Any new color that you choose, it appears in the new, and the current color is the color of your current layer that you've chosen. So my current layer I've chosen is black, and I'm trying to choose a new color, but then I'll just still go ahead and choose my black. So I chose blue though, but then I'll go back and choose black because the design is black. Okay, so now that I've chosen my black, I will draw my rectangle. So I will drag and release the mouse to draw the rectangle. So the moment I finish drawing my rectangle, I go for the pick tool and I reposition it at where I want it to be. So that is the layer palette. So when you click on the layer palette, you can lock it. You can click on the padlock to lock it so that it is fixed. You can't move that again. You can turn it on and off at the do, but then once you click on the padlock, it is fixed. So I go for my text tool and I type. I go for my text tool. I click on the text tool. I change the color. I hit OK. And then I will click on the document, or I'll click on my design or my layer and start typing. So this is by default. The moment you click on your design, it gives you a default inscription or a default writing. So I will just change it to music school. So after typing, I reposition it with the help of the pick tool. I go for the text layer and change the font style. So I choose a suitable font that is preferred for my work. So this one I choose the Franklin Gothic and I close it. So I told you earlier that if you want to expand any layer, you hold down Alt Shift and you drag the corner of the layer to make it maximized by all size. Then I check it, meaning I accept it. So to duplicate a layer, I've already told you that you hold on Alt and you click and drag any layer to duplicate it. So I make changes to it by highlighting. I am then coming to write Little Angels Academy. You know what? Instead of going for the text tool and typing, I prefer duplicating an already typed text and make changes to it. That makes it simple for me to work. So after typing, I change the font style and the size of it. So this time around, I've changed the font style to Clarendon, and then I am resizing it to smaller size. I'm changing the font size to make it small. So after my preferred size, okay, so this size is cool. Then I will drag it and place it on top of the music school. So once you are doing the design, you keep on changing the position of your layer to your preferred artistic impression. Okay, so basically this is where I want the Little Angels Academy to be. You can click on these layers either to hide it or to reveal it. So this is a layer palette. Anything that you click on here will be selected on your work. So is it the lock on the black layer? I release the lock, I close the lock again. So I hide the layer palette. So anytime I want the layer palette, I click on that thing again. So you see, when I click on any of these texts, it's being selected. When I click on this text, it is being selected. Okay, so I then reposition the music school again. So this time around, I go for the text tool, click on the document and make changes to the default text. Okay, so if you are with me, let's follow along. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to design a simple flyer just like what you saw in the beginning of this lesson. Okay, so now let's go. So I am beginning to type the text info on the design. So these are the text info on the design. So once you know how to type, I don't have to be teaching you how to type. So when I finish one line, I press enter, move it to the next line and continue my typing. When I finish the next line, I press enter, move to the next line and continue typing. Does your child have the passion for music, or does your child have passion for music? Okay, so I go for the pick tool I highlight everything, change the leading, that is the character spacing, that is the leading. So I set the leading. I use the scroll button, or I can just punch in the number. So for now I'm using the scroll button. Okay, and then I shall change the font style to Arial rounded, and then the font size as well. So for the font size, I was using the scroll mouse button. So after, then I change the color to white. Then I'll reposition it at the right based on where I want it to be. Then I think the leading is still spatial, so I just increase the leading a bit, as well as the font size. So that is the font size. I made it small, and this is the leading. The leading. Okay. Okay, so you see, I held on Alt and drag the text to duplicate it. So now I make changes to it. I am editing that text I just duplicated. Do they desire to learn any musical instrument? Do they desire to learn music or any instrument? So I think after typing, once I've told you that once you are still doing the design, you can change the position or duplicate any layer to re-edit it. So I have duplicated the music school and edited it to a question mark. So I will increase the size of the question mark by dragging the corner with the help of the Alt and Shift. And then I will make it white. Okay, so this is how the design looks. So I'll just position it there, make it big again. Okay, I drag the corner of every layer with the help of the Alt and the Shift. With the help of the Alt and the Shift to get a uniform scale up. Okay, so I then repositioned the second text and check. Okay, so I hide the text layer and open the layer palette and reduce the opacity. The opacity is the amount of transparency of a layer. So I've increased the amount of transparency to 15%. So which means that question mark I just typed is not 100% opaque. So it is transparent, let me put it that way. Okay, so as I zoom in, you can see. So I hold down Alt and use the scroll mouse button to zoom. I hold down Alt and use the scroll mouse button to zoom. So I'm just tweaking the opacity. So I am again zooming out and repositioning. If you want to reposition your whole work, you hold down the space bar. Once you are holding down the space bar, you move your mouse around. That is, you click and drag. So you see, I was zooming at the same time moving my work around. Okay, so that is it. I just duplicated this one also by the help of the Alt and the drag, and I make changes to it. I highlight. Okay, I don't like working with the text too much, so always, if I want to maintain the font size and the font style, I just use duplicate. Okay, so I change the font style. Okay, and the size as well. Okay, so I'm using the scroll mouse button to change the font size rather. Okay, so I think the position is good. That is where I want to place it. So then I'll change the color to yellow, or since I can pick the color from the background itself, I just click on the background and choose OK for the color to change. We call it the color picker. So I duplicate music school again and make changes to it. Remember, I held Alt on the keyboard and click and drag to get a duplicate of it. So I've made the changes to the music school and type the number. So this is my personal number. If you have any problem or any challenge, you can call me on 0244462308 and I'll just respond to you. Okay, so I change the color by using the color picker and reposition it at where I think it will favor the design. So then it is too big to fit, so I will just reduce the font's style, the font size rather, with the scroll mouse button. So I was reducing the font size with the scroll mouse button and then reposition it to its appropriate place. So basically that is what we are doing. So you just follow along, pay attention and follow along. So I was zooming out with the help of the Alt and the scroll mouse button to zoom. You hold down Alt on the keyboard, use the scroll mouse button to zoom. And if you want to move your design around, you hold down space bar. Okay, now we are bringing the logo of the school. So you go and open it, file open, and you browse to the location of the logo. Normally when you are working, you need to get some files already set or files already hidden somewhere. So I already have the logo there, so I have to import it. That is, I have to open it and bring it onto the work. So I was just browsing to find the logo. Okay, so I have to retake that again. So this is the logo. I have to give it a pause and go and search for where I kept the logo before I continue. So this is the logo. This is the logo. That is a little logo. So I select and hit on OK. So it opens on different window. So you see the logo is already on a transparent background, which means it doesn't lie in any background. So I drag and drop onto the work. So once it is too big, I'll hold on Alt and Shift and resize it from the corner. When I get my desired style, desired size, I reposition it at where I want it to be. Okay, so this is where I want the logo to be. Then I check it. Okay, or I accept it. Okay. So then I go for the pick tool. I go for the text tool rather, and type the rest of the text that is remaining on the design. That is the various disciplines in the music school that they are going to teach you, or the various instruments that you can learn from the music school. That is what you see on the design. So when I picked the text tool was already on yellow color, so I then changed it to black and I start typing. So I type piano, press enter. I type guitar, press enter. I tap sax, press enter. I type drums, press enter. I tap vocals, press enter, and so on and so forth. So after typing all your text, you highlight it. You know how to highlight. You press Ctrl A, or you click the mouse and drag, and you reduce the leading. The leading is the line spacing. That is what you will say in Word, line spacing, but here we call it leading. So I will reduce the leading and reposition it to where I want it to be. Okay, so I think this place is cool for the design. Okay, so I think this place is cool for the design. Okay, then I will hide the character palette and duplicate what I just typed. I want to re-edit this to different things, so I have to duplicate it and type something else. So after duplicating, I type learn, change it to white, check it and reposition it. Go for the pick tool, drag it and drop it at where I want it to be. Okay, so this is where I want the learn to be. Now there is a rectangle below the lens, so this is what I'm drawing. I go for the rectangle tool, I change the shape or the edges to curve. The moment you click on the rectangle, that layer will come. Then I hide it after drawing. I'll zoom in so that you can see it very well. Okay, so to send, so that is the zoom, you hold down Alt and scroll with your mouse button. So to send that rectangle layer below or behind the layer, I go for the layer palette and drag and drop the rectangle that I just drew below or behind the letters, that is behind the line. That is drag and drop. So I resize the rectangle and I hide that palette. Okay, I zoom out again, hold down space and drag my mouse to move the work around. Okay, so I'm going for a bullet, so I wanted to create a triangle. So the triangle, I use a pentagon, change the size. I want a 3 size, so that's a triangle, and draw. Okay, so that is a 3-side polygon. That is a triangle. Okay, so I zoom in the work. Remember, the zoom is Alt and the scroll mouse button. You hold down Alt on your keyboard and the scroll mouse button. Whoa, you are doing very well, very well. Keep it up, keep it up. But don't forget, you can give me a call, you can chat me on WhatsApp. I'm on WhatsApp. If you want any further explanation, or if you want me to do any design for you, I'll just do that. Okay, so I want a straight line to be behind the triangle, so I go for the straight line. But this time around, I prefer working with a rectangular tool to create a straight line. So I go for the rectangular tool, I make a straight line. You just drag and drop. It is just a drag and drop, and I change the color. I go for the pick tool and reposition it. Remember, I am zooming in to get a clear picture of it before I can resize the rectangle that I just drew. Okay, so once you zoom it, you can use your scroll mouse button to push it up and reposition it at your preferred place again. So if everything is okay, you hold down Alt and you zoom out. That is, you scroll your mouse to zoom it out. Okay, so I select the line and the rectangle together and I reposition it again. Hold down space, drag to move my page around. So this is, at least we are achieving something. If you are following, we are achieving something. Okay, so once I'm done with this, I can close it without saving. No, I'm not saving it. Okay, it wouldn't affect your work. Okay, so I am bringing in another asset. So that is it. I select and click on open. So it also opens on different window. Then I click and drag. You see, this one also has a transparent background. I click and drop on the work. Once it is bigger than the size, I resize it by holding Alt and Shift together and drag any corner or any edge of the design or of the asset, that is the just imported layer, resize it. Okay, so I'm just tweaking the size of it and the position as well. Okay, and I check it. Okay, okay, so I was just manipulating with the Alt key and the scroll mouse button. You hold down Alt and use the scroll mouse button. So I'm going to create a shadow under it. So I go for we have a shadow tool, but this kind of effect that I want, I have to create it myself. So the circle tool or the oval tool, I click on it and draw below the layer. I click on filter, choose blur and Gaussian blur. So Gaussian blur, you click on rasterize, and you adjust the radius to get your desired effect. So you see, I don't know if you can see the artistic impression. I just created a shadow under it. Yeah, okay, so this is it. This is it. You are on the right path. This is it. Whoa. Okay. This is awesome. We are almost done. This is awesome. So I'll go for the rectangle to create some rectangles that I want to type on it. So I want to type something on it, but then I want to change the design. So I want to add some professionalism to the design. So I draw a black rectangle, check it, and duplicate the rectangle by holding down Alt and drag to make the duplicate. So Alt drag, you get another copy of it. You see, so I'm coming to type on that black rectangle. So I have to change after clicking on the text tool. I have to change the color. Click on it and type. Okay, so that is what I'm typing. Every Saturday 10 o'clock, that is every Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. So this is the text that I want. The leading is too big, so I'll highlight and change the leading. Under the text layer, I'll adjust the leading, so that is the leading you are seeing. And the font style, I will change it to Arial rounded again. Go for the pick tool and reposition it where I want it to be. So you see it is too big for the rectangle, so I will change the font size. This time around, I can drag from the corner. Or I can use the font size as well. But then sometimes you have to be very snappy, so you can just handle the file anyhow, provided. Okay, so I was zooming. I am zooming right now with that is Alt and the scroll mouse button. Okay, so I change the color to yellow. That's it. So I'll duplicate this one. I hide the text layer. Duplicate this one. That is, you hold down Alt on the keyboard and drag to get a copy of it. Okay, to get a copy of it. That's the copy. Okay, then I make changes to it by editing. Okay, so at Little Angels Academy. Okay, after typing, I go for the pick tool. Okay, so I zoom out. That is Alt and a drag to make it zoom out. Remember, the zoom in is looking at it bigger. The zoom out is looking at it smaller. Okay, I think the design is 70% done. Left with the picture and the effects at the right of the design. Okay, so the picture is already there as an asset, so I'll just go and bring it onto our work. So that is where I'll come and put it. So the picture is inside the placeholder, so I'll draw the placeholder. It's a rectangular placeholder, so I'll draw my rectangle. A placeholder is a layer that allows you to insert another layer. Okay, so after drawing, I change the curve. I change the corners to curve. Okay, so this is my placeholder ready. So I'm coming to fix in the picture. Okay, so I hide the layer palette. So now that this one has been imported, I can close it without saving. It will not affect the work. So this is your work that you are working with, and we just close the one that we imported. So I'm going to open the picture. That's file open. Bring in this picture, student drum. So I select it and click on open. So the picture will load and open. So this is the picture that I want to work with. So I unlock it because it is locked. Click and drag onto the work. So you see the picture is too big. So I will resize it by holding down Alt and Shift and drag the corner. Alt and Shift and drag the corner. I check it. In our next lesson, I'll show you why we always check that box over there. Okay, so if you want to fit it into that, you hold down Alt, you click on the placeholder and it will just fit into it. You hold down Alt, you click on placeholder to fit into it. So the moment you hold down Alt and put your mouse on that placeholder, the mouse icon will change to that 7 sign. Okay, so now it is fit into it. So that is my placeholder. I'm going to change the stroke around it. So you click on it and change the stroke, and I'll increase the stroke size. I'll increase the stroke size from there. It is at 0.3. So this time around, I want it to be a pattern. So there is a design. So you click on the pattern. That is the last design, and choose the pattern that I want the placeholder, the edges or the borders of the placeholder to get. So then I adjust the size of the stroke. So that is it. I'm trying to tweak the size of the stroke. So I select the kind of stroke that I want, the design that I want, and you click on it. So there are a lot of designs that you can change. There are a lot of patterns out there that you can change. So I'm adding an effect, that is inner shadow. So that FX means effect. So that is my inner shadow. I will adjust the chokes, the distance, the size to my preferred desired effect. So anything that you adjust there, whether the distance, whether the choke, whether the size, it will give you some kind of effect. So I click on OK and hide the palette. So I think we are good to go. So basically we are almost done. We are 90% done. So let's with the crack effect around the design. So I'm going for it. It has already been designed with the 3D software. So I will import it. So you can see I just opened the previous way that I just did. So this is the crack effect that we are going to create. So this is the crack effect we are going to create. Okay, so let's close it and get ready to create it. Okay, so I click on File, Open. I browse to where the crack is, and you select and choose Open rather. So this is a crack effect. Mind you, it wasn't created with Photoshop. It's a 3D design. So I created it at Cinema 4D and I exported it as a JPEG file. So this is it. I drag and drop onto the work, that is the flyer 2, and release it onto the work. Okay, so this is it. So to make it perfectly fit, I will change the transform mode. Okay, so I'll rotate it for now. Let's rotate it. Let's change it to 90 degrees, negative 90 degrees. That is 180 degrees rather. So it's the same thing, either negative 90 degrees or 180 degrees is the same thing. Okay, so I open the layer palette, change the transfer mode to linear light. So the moment you change the transfer mode to linear light, you get the desired effects. Wow! So you see the cracks, how the effect is impacting on the design. So now we are going to cut out the rectangle to reveal the picture, leaving the edges of the crack. So this is it. I was trying to tweak and see if automatically it can fit around, but then it couldn't fit around. So I was just trying to tweak it. So don't waste your time trying to do that. Okay. So I was holding down Alt and trying to find something very new to it. So you see, Photoshop is something that you can just sit down, just create. So you hold down Alt and you be clicking on it just to get some different design or different feel or something. Okay, so I am back to normal. So this time around, I am going to cut out the shape inside the crack to reveal the picture. So I go for the pen tool, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag. You know the zoom, so I was just zooming in to see how clear it is. So I click and drag. I click and drag. I click and drag. So if you want to move your work around, you hold on space bar on your keyboard, then use your mouse, you click and drag your mouse to reposition your whole work. Okay, that is it. So you can that is it. So you can see it. Okay, so I click and drag. I click and drag. I click and drag. I click and drag. Okay, you see, I am selecting the inner edge of the cracks around the placeholder. I want to do away the inside part. I want to delete the inside part to reveal the picture of the drums. So that's what I'm doing. So after that, I right click and choose make selection. Choose make selection, and then I click on OK. So once I click on OK, I press V and delete. You see, I press V and delete it. After pressing V and delete, you hold down, you control and press D to deselect it, and now your design is done. So you can see the effect around it. So I'm just trying to tweak the shadow settings to make it more realistic. So you see the effect. Wow. So if you can do this within just a small time, then you were pro. But then you can still call me if you have any difficulty. If you face any difficulty, you can just give me a call on 0244462308. Or you can follow me on YouTube. Make sure you like the video, you share, you subscribe. You follow me on YouTube. That is All Tutorials. All Tutorials. Okay, so this is the design we just created. Wow, you are a pro. Whoa, so if you can do this, you can do anything. Photoshop is not difficult, but then don't focus your mind on all the tools that you see, else it might scare you. Don't. I'm just trying to tweak something. So I am done with the work. So I'm just trying to find my way around. So don't get bothered. So I'm done. So I just highlighted or selected all the layers and enlarged it, the placeholder, the picture and the cracks together, and make it big. That was what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, so don't focus on the too many tools you see when you open Photoshop, else it might scare you. Be focused. Photoshop is not something very difficult. So at the end of today, this is what we did. A simple flyer like this. You can print this, you can put this on your social media platform, anything. You can even charge someone to do this design for the person. Okay, so we are done. So I'm closing this asset that I opened. It will not affect the work, don't worry. It will not, even if you haven't saved the work, closing that will not affect it. So let's save it. So you click on File, Save As. File, Save As. So we are going to save it as JPEG. JPEG means picture form. So you choose the file type, you choose JPEG. I'm saving it onto the location that I want to save. Okay. So you click on save. So this is the JPEG option. I choose the quality of it. either small or large, and you click on save. So once you are done saving, you click on save. So once you are done saving, your work is now JPEG. That is, JPEG means your work is now in a picture form. Your design is now in a picture form. So now I just saved also the work, a PDF. So that's it. Thank you for today, and make sure you like, you subscribe, and you share this video. You like, subscribe, share this video. You can also learn much from me on YouTube as well, Ghana Education TV. That is for the SHS, Ghana Education TV. That is for the SHS. So that was the flyer. I am opening the flyer for you to see how big or how nice the flyer has been. My laptop is a bit slower, so it doesn't matter, you can still do it. So this is the final design. Yes, this is the final design. Congratulations for your trial. Congratulations once again, and hope to see you some other time. Visit here often for more tutorials. Subscribe to get notification anytime I do an upload.